Hello, this is Dan Alford with ARC Specialties. Today we're going to teach you how to read a MAAP. That's MAAP spelled M-A-A-P. This is our Manufacturing Automation Audit Program. It's something we came up with at the request of a customer many years ago. We'd been automating their machining, welding, and testing, and they asked us, what else can we do? I said, well, let's see your problems. And we walked through the shop and we looked for other opportunities. We've kind of formalized this, and now what we'll do is we'll start at the receiving dock, walk all the way through the entire manufacturing process, and look for where technology can solve problems. What we're trying to do is look for low-hanging fruit, look for where technology is easily implemented. Of course, the customers will tell us this project's not necessary, it's nearly obsolete, this project's small runs or something like that. So we'll cut the project candidate list down based upon these comments, and then we'll look more closely at the projects which are A, technologically feasible, and B, something of interest to the customer. Folks think of this as inexpensive consulting, which it is, but I think of it as self-serving. What we're trying to do is find the candidate projects which are feasible and doable. Unfortunately, in America, almost in every shop, if you go in the back, you'll find machines collecting dust not being used. I like to joke that the biggest use of robots in America is dust collection. People buy them, the integrators fail to make them work, you put them in the back and they collect dust. We're trying to avoid that exact problem. My point is, frequently, your biggest problem is not your best candidate for automation. There are things that technology does very well and other things not so much. What we're trying to do is figure out which projects are your best first candidate. Another thing we take into consideration is the technology level of your shop. If your shop's technology level won't support these machines, it's a bad project. Jacob and I recently went to a manufacturer. We did a MAAP for them, walked all the way through the shop. We identified a lot of low-hanging fruit, partially because this company's never automated before, so a lot of opportunities. We found 4 or 5 projects that could work, and then we left with our report. Unfortunately, next thing we know is they want us to quote on something that's going to require a robot, laser ablation, mechanical material removal, machine vision, and it's also going to create some toxic fumes. This is certainly not a good first automation project. First off, we're going to spend a great deal of time and money in the laboratory, so I suspect that return on investment on this system will be measured in years. Second, it exceeds the technology level of the shop. This is kind of like buying your kid a dragster for their first car. Not a good idea. So that was a negative example of a MAAP experience, but let's talk about something positive. This is the way it's supposed to work. We were called into a shop in south of Houston. They asked us to solve a welding problem. Mild steel, it was a doable project, but I said, hey, we're here, let's do a MAAP. And so we started at receiving, where the materials came in, and then the very first step was cutting this stuff to length. And they had an old magnetic template burning machine. I commented that the Smithsonian would be interested in acquiring that because the technology was so outdated. And I said what we could do is implement a robotic solution using plasma, and that's what we did. We never implemented the welding solution. So far we've sold them 2 robotic plasma cutters, and oddly enough, with properly cut parts, they do not have a welding problem any longer. This is the point of a MAAP. You pick the problems that technology will solve, and frequently you'll solve others which are downstream in the manufacturing process. So when you're looking for candidates for automation, don't look for your biggest problem. Look for where technology can make you money and make you parts and make your job safer. One way to do this is look through the eyes of a roboticist. So let your integrator walk through your shop and help you select candidate projects. At ARC Specialties, we thrive on problems. Send us yours.